Welcome to the Spring Gnome hat felting tutorial. We'll be just decorating the hat in this tutorial. You can find the full video for making a needle felted gnome in the description. So starting out with the colors, we have green, purple, and yellow I'll be using to decorate this hat. Again, the full tutorial to make the gnome is linked in the description of this video. So I'm going to start by doing fine lines. So I take a very thin strip of wool and poke it in one end. Using my non-dominant hand, my left hand, I guide the wool where I want it to go. And then using a 40 spiral needle in my right hand, I poke that wool in really good along that line and just gently guide, making sure I put a little tension on that wool strip, or that wool will just bunch back up where I'm poking the needle in. So generally for these vines, I do lots of swirls and just guide the wool all over the hat. Use your creativity. After you made the vines, we're going to felt on little leaves. You don't have to do this, but this is how I make the decorated gnome hat for the spring gnome. So I ball up a little bit of the green wool, the same color as the vines, and then put it on the felted surface. And I usually poke next to the vine and then at the tip of the leaf and then in the middle across to make that leaf shape. So next to the vine, and then where I want that point to be, and then go back across the middle. And we're going to be adding a bunch of leaves to this hat. After the leaves, we'll be adding the flowers. I'm using purple for my flowers. So I take some purple, ball it up in my fingers, put it on the hat where I want the flower to go. And using a 36 triangle, I'll felt just in the very center of that ball repeatedly. So I felt just in the very center, and it makes a little divot in the center and leaves the edges raised and a little fluffy. So it's actually 3D and it's not a flat flower. So make a ball and felt directly in the center. If there's any wispy wools around the edges, you can grab them with the tip of your needle and then push them down into the middle. And again, I'm just poking right in the middle of that ball. I'm not poking anywhere else besides right in the middle. Lastly, to decorate the hat, I do these little yellow flowers. So I usually do groups of 3 and use a teeny tiny little wisp of yellow wool, ball it up between my fingers, put it on the mat, and poke it in where I want it to go. And I just poke right down in one direction. So this is the final decoration on the hat. I also show this in the gnome tutorial, but I'll also show it in this video real quick. So I am making an actual cone shape of the hat. So I fold it in half along the long edge, and I felt directly into that edge all the way up and down. You want to flip over and do it on both sides. You can felt about a 1/4 inch away from that edge. You want to felt it really securely so it doesn't come apart. Using my multi-needle tool to help secure that, and then my smoother multi-needle tool to smooth out any fuzzies, work on the tip a little bit of the hat, go back and forth. And I always check the seam by running my finger up and down the seam from the inside. And here is the final hat. So thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel.